Breaking the News with Des Clark.
I'm Des Clark and this is Breaking the News, the show that breaks the week's news and asks four opinionated panellists to put it back together again. And once again, we're joined by some of the best comedians in the country. On my right, we have Ashley Storey and Billy Kirkwood, and up against them are Scott Agnew and Celia AB. In the news this week, Scotland will host England at Hampden Park on the 12th of September next year as part of the 150th anniversary celebrations of their first football match in 1872. And if you think VAR takes up too much time these days, it could be worse. Back in 1872, if a decision needed to be reviewed, the referee had to go over and check a painting. Shanghai Disney has become the latest high-profile venue to shut its gates thanks to China's strict zero-COVID policy, trapping visitors inside. Although it did turn out to be a false alarm. The panic all started when there was a bit of overacting for the guy that played Sneezy. And James Corden has apologised after telling a joke on The Late Late Show that was identical to one of Ricky Gervais's. Corden said he'd make sure it would never happen again before dressing up as Del Boy, leaning back and falling through the bar. Right, you've met the panel. Let's crack on with round one. This is the Broken News round, where our teams have to guess two major stories of the week that have been mashed together into one single news headline. So, Ashley and Billy, can you tell me what the first story in the mashup is?
Number 10 has made a veiled criticism of
Rishi Sunak
for signing up to take part in the ITV reality show I'm a
Prime Minister.
Get Me Out of Here. The former Health Secretary Matt Hancock said that at a challenging time for the country, MPs should be working hard for their constituents.
First Minister Nicola Sturgeon's already confirmed she will go.
Any ideas what our first story might be? Billy?
It sounds like it's going to be Rishi changing his mind. He decides he wants a wee holiday and he's going to go along to COP27.
That is the right answer. Well done, Billy. Yes, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will now be going to the COP27 climate conference in Egypt. His U-turn comes after he had previously said he was too busy preparing for the budget to attend the summit, which opens on Sunday. There had been pressure on Rishi Sunak to attend COP27, particularly after environmentalists criticised the UK government for their over-reliance on single-use prime ministers. Ashley Storey, are you pleased that Rishi Sunak has finally decided to go to COP27?
I'm happy that big KC3, really, that's what I'm calling King Charles III, because I can't say it without saying Spaniel at the end.
Just abbreviate it.
So KC3, which I think is a very cool name for the king. Very young, very hip, very fresh. I'm glad that he got, completely utterly browbeaten into having to go, because he was like, no, I'm going to focus on domestic problems. The environment isn't a problem. Let's talk about the economy, guys. And then big KC3 was like, oh, no, I don't think so. I'm going to have a pretend COP and then you'll have to come. And then Rishi was like, oh, okay, duh. And
I think in order to make it maybe more interesting, they should add more dynamics to it. So I've got an idea. There should be one conference that is really bad and has a lot of attitude, and one conference that is really lovely and is on your side, and we could call it Good Cup, Bad Cup.
Nice. We still have the issue of climate change, but how can we sort it? Do our panel have any ideas? What would be your solution to climate change? Billy?
Turns out we should have been listening to dads. For all those years, my dad would follow me around the house going, you should be turning that light off. Have you been playing with the radiator? Because as kids, we couldn't wait to play with the radiators. So it turns out after all these years, he was exactly right. My dad wasn't a skinflint, he was a pioneer.
There you go.
I think it's all little things. I think so it's little habits that build up to something bigger. So I've watched a David Attenborough documentary, and now I hardly even eat meat in the bath. No, just thank you guys. We'll hear with that.
So French, really.
Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you.
The solution's already here. I have seen the future, by the way, and the future is just down the road. Dans le Sault Marché, right? Salt market, right? Right. I'm part French, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's where my surname comes from. Agnew is Lagneau, L''AGNU, and when I do my drag act, that's how I'm coming out. Daphne Lagneau. Anyway, right, so...
I honestly...
No, my uncle is French. He was a French journalist. He worked for La Parisienne and Canal Plus.
I feel like you're just using all the French words, you know,
No, no.
and creating a story. Actually, my uncle was a baguette. He lived in a cul-de-sac.
Salt market.
No, yet the solution to our climate problems is here. Right, it's on the salt market. It's just opened. Right, it is a Greggs outlet. Yes.
Greg?
Oh, I see some of you asking, what is a Greggs outlet? Thank you for asking. I'll tell you. Right, it is a Greggs with stuff for yesterday. Right, and there's no heat lamps. There's no industrial ovens.
Nope.
Right, think of the energy that'll save, right? And it takes all the jeopardy out of steak bake. There's none of this, oh, is there still a heat in it or no? Do you know what I mean? Right? You know it's stone cold, but it's 50p, right? And that is...
And there's your solution. That's it. Solve climate change done. COP27 in the bag. Nae bother. Ex-Prime Minister Liz Truss said she wished she'd listened more to environmental activists during her time in office and glued herself to the floor inside number 10. Yes, well done. Rishi Sunak reversing his decision not to go to COP27 is the correct answer. Ashley and Billy, you get 2 points for that. And now to you, Scott and Celia. What was the other story we were after?
Things are getting beyond satire, quite frankly. Do you know what I mean? This is the news that the disgraced former Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, is competing in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. It's at the point you're just going, we're being gaslit, right? They're sending us absolutely and utterly mad. You know what I mean? It is ridiculous that I can cast a vote on whether the former Health Secretary eats platypus genitalia, right? Before I can vote for who's my Prime Minister, right? It's just... It's a pretty mad world we're in.
What it is I think he's trying to rebrand. I think he said yes to his agent to do something that will eventually be a lateral move, like me doing this to hopefully get on Mock the Week.
Absolutely no chance, pal.
I haven't checked the news in 3 months.
Yes. Well, that ship has sailed. Ashley's story. Matt Hancock is on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Are you looking forward to seeing his appearance on the show?
You know how when your nana dies and you go to your funeral and it's sad, but you're looking forward to seeing your cousin?
Right, yeah.
That's my vibe. I think he's an absolute terrible human being, and I think that thing when he kissed that woman Gina right in front of a security camera annoyed me on so many levels.
On the kissing and the affair thing, do you know, it's like, if you're familiar with the programme, it always starts with the celebrities jumping out of an aeroplane, and I really, really hope his ex-wife got the job of packing the parachute.
Obviously, going into the celebrity jungle, many of the celebs and contestants list their biggest fears. What, Ashley, is your biggest fear?
That an angered wizard is going to turn me into a painting and my mum and dad won't know what's happened to me, but then they'll walk through Kelvin Grove Art Gallery and go, that painting looks like Ashley, and I'll be inside the painting going, it's me!
Remember that song at school, Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes?
Knees and toes.
Remember that bit? Remember that bit? That bit where they would suddenly not do... They would do the actions, but they wouldn't say it. They would go, and eyes, and... That freaked me out.
Matt Hancock has said that he is going into the jungle to further the cause of speaking about dyslexia. There are, of course, different types of dyslexia, and Matt Hancock suffers from being unable to differentiate between certain characters, such as his special advisor and his wife. Well done, Scott and Celia. You get 2 points for that. It was indeed the mashup of Rishi Sunak going to COP27 and Matt Hancock going into the jungle. And at the end of that round, it is 2 points apiece. Now, much of our news is about public opinion, so this week to find out what people are talking about, we have spoken to political commentator and Herald columnist Brian Taylor and BBC Sports presenter Amy Irons. Scott and Celia, what story do you think Brian is on about here?
It's a great choice. Sums up exactly how we're all feeling. It's a bit like a phrase I regularly use, the scunner factor. Or from my native Dundonian, we're all just pussy seek. Language is always changing. It's always changing. I mean, Shakespeare's said to have invented words like swagger and zany. So why shouldn't we invent words right now?
Collins Dictionary have named their word of the year.
That is the right answer.
Yeah.
Well done to the team there, Celia and Scott. Yes, it is the news that permacrisis, a term describing the feeling of living through a period of war, inflation and political instability, has been chosen as Collins Dictionary's word of the year. Scotland has its own word of the year that encompasses everything that's been happening with the pandemic, the economic crisis and all the political turmoil. It is, of course, oofed. What do you think about it then, Billy? The word is permacrisis. That's the word of the year. Are you surprised by this?
Yes, I am, because I didn't know it existed, for a start. I thought it might be a combination of words, particularly here in Scotland, like, oh, for the lover. Which everybody says, but you'll never get to the end of it if it's really bad. Oh, for the lover.
Celia, how would you describe the past 12 months?
The past 12 months, I don't know about you, I feel like it's gone really quickly. I just feel like everything is going quicker and worse in the UK. When I moved here 8 years ago, because I really like the TV show Skins. Genuinely, and now it's on fire. And I can't go back because I can't really speak French anymore.
I can help you out with that.
What about you, Scott? How would you describe the past 12 months?
I'm feeling awfully shortchanged, right? Because a year ago I had a heart attack and 3 cardiac arrests. I was dead, right? 3 times in the one night. But wonderful NHS brought us back. And this is the bonus year. I was hoping there might be a bit more fun than this, you know.
This is what you stuck around for.
That's what I stuck around for.
Well,
It's like a schemy version of It's a Wonderful Life.
Billy, what would be your least favourite word and why?
Pluk. Pluk. It's been weaponised as well, because people might, oh, I've got a wee spot there. Oh, is that you got a pluk? Kids, if you're listening, your body's going to do some weird things. You're going to get some spots that you're not happy about. You're going to be upset about it.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, oh, I'm going to got spots. Oh, is that you got a wee pluk? Shut up, Mum. I don't need that. Then you go to school, look at him, he's covered in pluks. Oh, even now, mate.
I think when someone's covered in them, is that called a dermacrisis?
What is your least favourite word? Celia?
As a French person, every time I say the word croissant, I feel like an awful person because I'm saying it correctly.
What about you, Scott? I knew you're a bit of a wordsmith. What would be your least favourite word and why?
Can I pick a selection of words?
Go for it, yeah.
And now that I've learned how to say croissant right, my family came from a different part of France. Very thick Gallic accent, you know what I mean? Way up the north.
Yeah.
Irvine.
You see, we get taught French for like 5 years, and all I've come away with is a song about a woman with a panther. Un animal, Stephen, oui, j'ai un animal, j'ai un panthère, elle s'appelle Esther.
Everybody!
Esther pour un panthère, ça superbe. Which is, do you have an animal? Yes, I have an animal. I've got a panther called Esther. That's superb.
Well done. Permacrisis has been named Word of the Year. It is the right answer, and 2 points go to Scott and Celia. To you, Ashley and Billy, what do you think Amy is talking about here?
I've actually always wanted to go on one of these, but the fact that you can now do it in Scotland, I think might make it a little bit more accessible. Imagine just going to the supermarket in the dark, or going clothes shopping in the dark, and the stuff that you would come back with. I think we really could make daytime activities nighttime ones just for a laugh.
Nighttime safaris. That's a thing now, because we're that weird as people.
That is actually the right answer. Well done, Ashley. That's right. An outdoors company in the Highlands has launched nighttime safaris using thermal imaging technology. The guided tours will allow wildlife enthusiasts the chance to see animals including deer, foxes, badgers, pine martens and hedgehogs under the cover of darkness.
I'm terrified by the whole thing, and it's 75 quid.
Yep.
What? 75 quid to go and look at these hedgehogs. And you know what all hedgehogs do at night is forage for food anyway. So basically you're just watching a hedgehog do its big shop.
Scott Agnew, what do you make about this then? Nighttime safari. Would you go on a nighttime safari?
Nighttime safaris, is that what they're calling it these days? Aye, right. Sorry, officer, I think you're much mistaken. I'm actually out here on a nighttime safari, you know.
Ashley, can you see this becoming a big tourist attraction?
I think it's Scotland and we're weird. So, like, one of our biggest tourist attractions is let's go to Edinburgh and look where people died. Like, that's... Do you know what I mean? There's a guy, a drama student in a cloak going, hello, gather round. This is where people were bricked in during the plague. And we're like, oh, that's so cool. But... I mean, I couldn't just take you round the corner and be like, this is where my uncle got stabbed. Observe.
I can't believe I'm going to tee this one up. What is the strangest thing you've seen after dark?
It was midnight. I was sitting in a room with two of my friends. I said to my friend, if time travel's possible in the future, I'll come back to this very moment and prove it to us. And they were like, Ashley, shut up, right? 2 minutes later, a fat old woman ran down the street and set off a firework, and it's me. What? Legitimately, I don't know how it happened. I said, if time travel's possible in the future, I'll come back and prove it to us. They went, shut up, Ashley. Looked out the window, and there's just a fat wee woman lighting fireworks outside my window. And I'm like, yes! I didn't lose the weight I'd hoped, but yes!
What about you, Celia? What's the strangest thing that you've seen after dark?
So it was in the summer, and I put all my stuff to dry, like all my clothes to dry, and I saw a fox wearing my bra. But and it looked pretty sexy.
Scott Agnew, what is the strangest thing that you have seen after dark?
Strangest things if they're still there in the morning. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, the launch of nighttime safaris in Scotland is the right answer, and 2 points goes to Billy and Ashley. You're tuned to Breaking the News on BBC Radio Scotland with me, Des Clark. Now, this round is all about who is in the news. So I will play you a clip of a mystery person. All you have to do is tell me who it is. So Ashley and Billy, you're up first this time. Who is this?
I actually really take the position that I'm always to some degree wrong, and the aspiration is to be less wrong. We're always to some degree wrong. It doesn't matter who you are. And trying to minimize the wrongheadedness over time is that, I believe in that philosophy.
It's Elon Musk.
Yes, it is in fact Elon Musk, who this week dissolved Twitter's board of directors and has said the platform will charge $8 a month to users who want the blue tick feature. Musk says he wants to purge Twitter accounts that have been inactive for more than a year, leading to panicked scenes as the Scottish Lib Dems try to remember their passwords. What do you think, Ashley, of Elon Musk's Twitter takeover?
He's bought Twitter for billions and billions of pounds. Do you know how many like cool things he could have bought with that money? But he's bought Twitter, where your ma goes to argue with people because your dad's having a nap. Like,
Elon Musk has come in saying he's going to improve that social media platform, but what would you do to improve social media? Billy?
Right, couple of things. Edit button. I want an edit button on Twitter. As a dyslexic man, I have done some absolute howlers over the years. For example, telling my brother, let's bury the hatchet. I was trying to tell someone that I was lactose intolerant. And offering, say, when someone asked, what do you eat to try and lose weight? I suggested a Caesar salad.
Scott, what would you do to improve social media?
Oh, I mean, I think there should be a limit in the number of folk that you can actually talk to, right? Or you should be able to keep as friends or contacts, right? See, when you go on your holidays, you do not need to keep in touch with that lovely couple for Dundee, right? We'll then want to come down for the weekend and they'll pay for a hotel. You've got them for the weekend and it turns out they're actually a pain in the backside. Do you know what I mean? Like, in the past, you just met these people and then released them back into the wild. Now you've got them on your social media for forever.
Ashley, I'll throw this to you. Elon Musk is charging $8 a month for the Twitter blue tick. What would you, Ashley, charge $8 a month for?
Pictures of my feet. And I already do. I know it's weird, but no, just like a very thick sock in a foot really gets like 2 guys gone. So I'm making £14 a month.
You mean somebody else has signed up for it?
What? I don't know how Billy's coping. He's lactose intolerant.
Too much for me.
We're talking about Elon Musk charging $8 a month for the blue tick. What would you charge $8 a month for? Celia?
I will turn any name into a French perfume. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Ashley Story. Le parfum.
How'd I pay?
Just pictures of your socks, please, mate.
Yes, well done. 2 points go to Ashley and Billy. That was the world's richest person, Elon Musk. Now to you, Scott and Celia, it's your turn. Who is this and why are they in the news?
I think my favorite thing about this city is that in other towns or cities or whatever, things feel very spread out. But because of something about the New York, everything being on top of each other, like the night falls together.
I believe it's Taylor Swift.
That is the right answer. It's singer-songwriter Taylor Swift, who this week made music history by becoming the first person ever to have all of the top 10 songs in the US singles chart. Songs include Midnight Rain, Snow on the Beach, and Lavender Haze, which are also, coincidentally, my granny's top 3 favourite air fresheners.
I just think Taylor Swift sounds like something that you're forced to drink in the south of England when they don't have tenants in draft. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think then, Celia? Don't know if you're a Taylor Swift fan, but how big an achievement is this?
Like, I've never really listened to her, but I think that's an amazing achievement. For context, where I am in my career is I recognize every single person that recognizes me. And last week, after a gig, a group of girls came up to me and said, "Can we have a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can." And then she handed me the camera, walked away with her friends and started posing.
The thing that bothers me about it is I get a lot of feedback because I work at BBC Radio Scotland and I get a lot of complaints sent in via the text whenever I play her. But a lot of them are like, oh, she just sings songs about the men who have broke up with her. You know, it's this young woman. She just sings songs about men who have annoyed her. And I'm like, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, but yous are the people who made Fleetwood Mac famous. You ever heard that, the Dream song? It's literally like your ma and dad having a fight. Oh, there you go again. See, you want your freedom. Well, who am I to let you down? Stevie Nicks is just your mom.
There's some people in here that have no idea who Taylor Swift is. They probably think he played for Auchinleck in... There's Taylor Swift coming down there. Oh, Taylor Swift, you some boy.
There we go. Thank you very much for that. Correctly identifying Taylor Swift, who has described the current album as the story of 13 sleepless nights scattered throughout my life, which explains the bonus track, Megabus to London. Of course, mega star Taylor Swift is the right answer. 2 points goes to Scott and Celia. And it's time now for our final quickfire round, which is all about deciphering the numbers in the news. So I will read out the headline. All the teams have to do is fill in the blanks. So get ready, teams. When we run out of time, you'll hear this.
Rather him than me.
That was Michael Fabricant there, talking about Boris Johnson going Christmas shopping for his kids. Right. Right, fingers and buzzers, here we go. British people take on average 8 attempts to get what right? Ashley.
Irish people's names. You're Saoirse Ronan.
Yeah, I know. This is nice. No, it's something else, though. Keep it going. British people take an average 8 attempts to get what right? No.
Press the buzzer at the right time. Elect a half-decent government.
Any more for any more? British people take on average 8 attempts to get what right? Billy.
Their partner's passwords?
Let's go for it one more time. British people take on average 8 attempts to get what right? Celia.
How to say croissant properly.
A valiant attempt from our panel, but I can put you all out of your misery and say that British people take on average 8 attempts to get a picture for social media rights.
Rather him than me.
There we go, that is our klaxon. Michael has fabricanted. It means it's all over. And at the end of the quiz, our winners this week are Billy Kirkwood and Ashley Storey! And commiserations to Celia AB and Scott Agnew! And we'll leave you with the breaking the news. Breaking news just in. Edinburgh City Council is reviewing its ban on strip clubs because it can't afford to fight a legal challenge by strippers. Some citizens are already looking forward to the day when they can say, "You'll have had your teas." Security Minister Tom Tugendhat could face a driving ban after he was caught using his mobile phone at the wheel. The MP claimed it was urgent business as he was deleting all his WhatsApp messages from Boris Johnson. And staff at the Co-op's only UK coffin factory have announced a second week of strikes, which has led to high school woodwork teachers getting some pretty dark ideas for upcoming coursework. The news is broken. I've been Des Clark. Goodbye!